that'll be a really...
This is John May, General Roofing, up on another customer's roof doing a free 21-point inspection. If you'd like us to take a look at your roof, give us a call today, 719-375-8773. We'd be happy to take a look and see the condition of your roof. Petrala Roofing, we're a Diamond certified TAMCO installer, which means we can offer a industry-leading 25-year workmanship warranty to give you peace of mind in the storm. Call Petrala Roofing, 719-375-8773. Schedule your free inspection today.
Well, good morning, crew. It is June 29th. It is Monday morning, and things changed up in Colorado over the weekend like we knew at some point would be the case. We had a very, very lackluster winter season. We've got deep drought over the mountains, and we knew at some point that we were going to have kind of an increase in fire activity, and we certainly had that over the weekend. Coming up, I'm going to talk to a local wildland firefighter about the tragedy that happened on the Colorado-Utah border over the weekend, some of the approaches that are used when managing fires, and as a last resort, a tool that firefighters tried to use, but obviously, you know, that was a very, very difficult situation, and I know a lot of you stand with me in thinking about our firefighting community, and certainly those that lost their lives and their families. So a big difference in what happened over the weekend compared to how last week ended, when on Friday, if you'd kind of checked out for the weekend, we had 3 tornadoes out across the far eastern plains, some very strong wind. Corin Lee sent me that shot here of this storm that was rolling across the eastern plains. But then over the weekend, fires developed. We've got one burning in Fremont County. This one is off to the north of Highway 50. It is on County Road 11 and County Road 352A. This is called the 11 fire. It's small, it's 43 acres, but there are evacuations associated with that. There is one to the west of Leadville. The Turquoise Lake area, Mount Massive Wilderness are all evacuated, and there are some pre-evacuations for the west side of Leadville. Here's kind of what it looks like from Leadville. Looking to the west there, you see Mount Massive underneath my banner, Turquoise Lake. That fire growing at last check a little over 1,000 acres. And so, the roads around Turquoise Lake are closed. Of course, the Leadville National Fish Hatchery is there. That's in an evacuation area also. We'll keep an eye on that. Here's some perspective from where that is if you're not familiar with the Leadville area from Colorado Springs and Denver. And here are the active fires that are reported from the National Interagency Fire Center over Colorado. And you see a lot of them on the western slope and a few of them kind of in our local area. It is part of an ongoing active fire weather season over the southwestern United States. Some of these fires are very small, some of them are quite large, and we are going to have fire weather concerns around here for the next few days. We've got red flag warnings in effect across a good chunk of Colorado in the Intermountain West and the deserts during the day today. We have fire weather watches that are up tomorrow, and so this will continue to be a concern. Also, a fire burning just to the north of Ouray. You see the Box Canyon there. This is what it looked like last night. This is the Gold Mountain fire. And so, across Colorado, we are dealing with these issues here as we start off the week. And unfortunately, it is going to be another difficult firefighting day. You can see Ouray. We're kind of looking off to the north here. You can see Delta and Ridgeway off to the west there. And that fire is burning up on top of the Box Canyon, started kind of close to the road. And so, that's our big concern here as we move through the next several days. And my friends, as we look outside this morning, I tell you what, we've got some challenging issues out there as we get the day underway here because humidity levels are already down or in the teens. In Colorado Springs, we're sitting at 12%, 14% in Canyon City already. And because we've had some gusty wind, we're gusting to 48 miles per hour at the Colorado Springs Airport right now. We've got some gusty wind down around Trinidad, and it is a rough go out there this morning. In fact, it's almost 80 degrees in Ordway. That is a function of the wind. You get away from the windy areas. You see up over the Palmer Divide into northeastern Colorado, we've got some 50s, and Gunnison is down to 39 miles per hour this morning. So it just depends where you are. And but it sets the stage for what is going to be a challenging firefighting day for sure. And I'm going to get to that forecast here in a second. But before we do that, I want to bring in a guest this morning. He is the public information officer of one of our local firefighting agencies. I want to bring in Isaac Brisk. He is also the assistant superintendent. Isaac, good morning to you. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. A lot of people, thinking about the firefighting men and women, both in the air and on the ground, that are fighting these fires. I wanted to thank you for making some time for us here this morning, Isaac. And first, I wanted to talk about what it means in the firefighting community when there is loss of life in the brother and sisterhood.
Oh, man, it's just tragic. Everything kind of comes to a screeching halt for a few days. And everybody just remembers how important our jobs are, and more importantly, how important safety in life is first.
Right. Tell me about, I want to ask you a couple of questions. Obviously, there's a lot that's still unknown about the situation that happened on the Colorado and Utah border. But in terms of managing a wildfire and the firefighters that are there, talk about the importance of firefighter safety and how that works in the process.
Absolutely. Firefighter safety is paramount. That's why we train as much as we train. We never stop pushing the safety factor. Granted, it's one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, but you can make it as safe as humanly possible, and you still wind up in situations like we had the other day. It's inevitable, unfortunately, but the most important thing that any fire department can do nationwide or worldwide is practice fire shelter deployments, practice safety, practice escape routes. It's the most paramount thing that we can do.
So even though that's, like there's lots of practice, obviously, in some occasions, a fire is going to do something that is just too quick or, unexpected. Tell me about the tools. I know there is a shelter, and I grabbed the picture, and I hope it's something that's representative of these shelters that can be used sort of in a worst case scenario. Talk about those, and does every wildland firefighter carry them, and sort of how does that work?
Yep. So they're made out of aluminum foil and Kevlar mixed, and they come in a
Okay.
package that's about 6 inches tall by 10 inches wide. They weigh 4 pounds, and they are basically the last ditch effort of life safety for us. So we hope and pray that we never ever have to use them. They do work, they do save firefighters' lives, but unfortunately, there are the times where they don't save somebody's life because the fire is too intense or whatever. We are required to carry them. Every firefighter in the nation is required to carry one. As soon as they leave that truck, it must be on their
Okay.
person. So, yeah, they're the most important piece of equipment we have. We inspect them constantly. If they start showing wear or the color of the bag starts looking funny that holds them, it's time to replace them. And they're very expensive. They're about between $400 and $600 a piece, depending on which one you buy.
So tell me a little bit about how they work. I mean, is it the Kevlar that's an important part of it? Because I mean, not to make light of the situation, but it almost looks like a baked potato or something. So how does it
Yeah,
actually work and help keep the firefighter safe?
that's exactly what it is. Basically, you're just a big Chipotle burrito or a baked potato in there, and you wrap yourself up in it, and you lay down with your hands above your head like this, holding it down, and then your feet spread out. So basically, you look like Patrick from SpongeBob laying under them, and you try to keep an airtight seal on the ground all the way around you. You want to have mineral soil under you if possible, just to keep all that heat and gas and everything from wanting to sneak in under it. And then you just lay there and hope and pray that the technology that our forefathers designed and built for us keep us safe while we're in there, and hope to God that you come out safe. It's basically just a heat shield that hits and it's just reflects the heat away. It's it's super dangerous, and you just hope that they work and keep that heat away from you. And it's going to be very, very, very hot in there, but
Right.
they do work.
Okay. So air is a poor conductor. I mean, it's a good insulator. That's what you try to do in your house. You try to stop air movement because it
Right.
doesn't want to move, temperature across it. So the idea, what I hear you explaining there, is in trying to make extra spaces, you're trying to create this pocket of air around you that doesn't move, right? And then
Yes,
that sort of
absolutely.
stops the hottest of the heat coming into where the human body is.
Yeah, yes, sir. And like I said, you want to try to spread yourself out and hold it to the ground as hard as you can, because the winds that come through while a fire blows through are so intense that it'll blow your shelter around and want to pull it
Hmm.
up and off of your body. And so the goal is just to basically suction cup yourself to the ground and keep it sealed tight so you keep that little buffer of air in there with you, and
Wow.
pray.
Yeah, well, I mean, it shows just how difficult and how dangerous the work is for sure. What is something that you would want the community, people that don't have the awareness of what fighting a wildland fire is like? What do you want them to be aware of as we've got active fires burning in Colorado? We have several days of challenging weather ahead. From being in the community, what would you like to pass on?
I would like to pass on um, just like our shifts are 16-hour shifts when we're on a fire, sometimes 24 hours or longer. So when we call for evacuation notices and things like that, please listen and don't try to put up a fight and stay at your home. We make these decisions intentionally for life safety first for our public, and it's life safety and then property after that. So if we call for evacuations and we're asking the community to do things, please listen and don't put up a fight, because that just makes our job 10 times harder than it should be. And another thing is clean around your homes, rake away leaves and litter and pine needles from the edges of your home. And it's a good idea not to have mulch right up next to your house. Switch it to rock, because mulch will smolder for 3 or 4 days and then your house could light on fire. So preparedness is huge for us. You can look it up online pretty much anywhere for wildland preparedness. But yeah, just keep that stuff away from your homes. Walk around your home after a good windstorm. Anywhere where it eddies on your house and you get little piles of leaves in the corners,
Right.
Rake that stuff away, because that's where the embers are going to collect, and that's where your home will light on fire after the fire passes through. So just a little bit of awareness. Mitigation is huge. Colorado Springs Fire Department does a free mitigation program where they go from neighborhood to neighborhood around the city.
Right.
And you can sign up online. They'll come to your house and they'll chip everything that you cut. Just follow their guidelines on their website. And it's such an amazing program. And Chief Royal is awesome in getting that going. So take advantage of the things that the city and all the fire department and agencies around the area do for us. And yeah, ask any firefighter when you see them if you have advice, and they'll tell you. We want you to be as safe as we can be safe. So,
Okay. Last thing this morning, I know you're part of the SoCo Wildland Interagency team. Tell me about that.
It's amazing. We have 94 members, I believe now. We're real close to that. We're tied in with 12 different agencies around the area in El Paso County. And on red flag days, the day before, there will be 3 fire duty officers that get together. We put out pages to all of our volunteers. We're all volunteer, every one of us. We don't make a penny, which I think is even cooler. But we put out messages to our firefighters. We get a list together, and then on red flag days like today and yesterday, and then in the future, we pre-position our firefighters throughout the region, depending on which part of the city or the county are going to be the worst as far as winds go, relative humidity, and we have them patrol, and we have them train with the fire department that we have them at as well. So it's twofold. They get to learn all kinds of really cool things. They get to learn the area, and then also if there's a fire, it's immediate response. They're probably going to be within a few minutes of that fire, and hopefully the big end goal for us is to stop the fire before it gets big, which is why we do pre-positioning and patrolling as well.
Right. Well, I learned overnight there's a fire on top of the Wet Mountains, Aspen Acres near the San Isabel area, and there are some evacuations up there right now. So things are ongoing, things are changing. Isaac, thanks for being with us here this morning. I appreciate you making some time for Peaks to Plains weather, and we'll be with all of you today. We know you guys will be out on patrol again. So thank you so much for your expertise and your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you. We love your app. We use it constantly. So every time you're on live, we kind of pop in just to make sure there's nothing crazy going on. So thank you for doing what you do. You're a huge service for our community too.
Well, thank you very much. That's kind of you to say. I'll pass that on to Mary and Rachel. That's Isaac Brisk, ladies and gentlemen. He is the Public Information Officer, the Assistant Superintendent of the SoCo Wildland team, and they do such amazing work to keep our community safe. So, like I said, a new fire that is ongoing early this morning off to the south of Pueblo, up on top of the Wet Mountains near San Isabel, and there are some evacuations on the way. So that gets us into our short-term forecast here, because we have a situation that is not going to bring any relief here in the short term. We've got a big area of high pressure over the southeastern United States, and we've got this big trough over the western U.S. with an area of low pressure up across Montana. It's been snowing believe it or not, up across the northern Rockies. That gives you an idea of the temperature contrast between that low and that high. And that temperature contrast is creating a strong jet stream overhead. There's a little wave back over the northern part of California that is going to kind of rotate across the southern end of that and keep us active here for the next few days. So the wind that we've had this morning over some areas is unfortunately just going to kind of expand across the rest of the area as we head through the morning and into the afternoon. Strongest wind gusts in a lot of locations will be between 30 and 45 miles per hour as a generality. The strongest gusts today will be along kind of the eastern slopes of the mountains, and you can see where there are some sort of darker oranges being represented here over the higher terrain. I think out across the plains, we're kind of looking at 25 to 40 miles per hour. So sort of a repeat of what we had yesterday. The humidity is going to be very low as well as we move through the day, and everybody gets this westerly wind today. No one's going to be able to escape that, and so the fire danger continues to be high. It's going to be hot as about 105 in Lamar today, around 100 in Pueblo along the Arkansas River. You get up against the foothills, the higher terrain here, you start increasing in elevation. The temperatures come down some, but still really, really hot, around 90 in Springs. And then, of course, you get into the mountains and valleys. It's more elevation dependent, but numbers will range from the low 80s into the 70s, depending where you are. As we move into tomorrow, there's a little bit of a change here. So watch the temperature. I'm going to come back to today. Lamar's 105. Tomorrow, we're back into the mid-90s. We do get a cold front to move over the eastern plains tonight. Pulls the temperatures back a little bit. Unfortunately, we don't get much in the way of humidity recovery with that, except out across far eastern Colorado. We do get some low-level moisture. If you remember last week, we were talking about the dry line for tomorrow. And so you see in the afternoon, a lot of us are seeing southwest wind, even behind that cold front. But you see some star shapes in the wind fields out across eastern Colorado. That's where the dry line is. There may be and should be a couple of thunderstorms that develop along that. Dew points east of it will be in the upper 40s to around 50. We will get a little bit of cloud cover across the area tomorrow, some virga showers over the mountain areas. That could produce just some enhancement of the localized wind gusts. It's not good news for firefighters because it makes the wind more erratic in terms of direction and kind of increases the danger for firefighters. But you see here out across far eastern Colorado as we head into the afternoon, a couple thunderstorms develop. I think anything severe is probably in western Kansas, but we'll keep our eye on the easternmost counties here where we could get some hail around an inch in diameter and maybe some wind gusts around 65 miles per hour. Wednesday, we're starting to bring the temperatures back up out across far eastern Colorado. And really, my friends, there's no big sort of change here until we get toward the weekend and specifically past the 4th of July holiday as we maybe start to get some moisture overhead. And I'll start to talk about that in our extended forecast here in a little bit. Corin, who's going to storm chase for us, you saw his video earlier. He says that he's not looking forward to the 105 in Lamar today. Patricia is aware of the fire around the Aspen Acres area up on the Wet Mountains. She says they're evacuating within 1 mile. Anne has kind of a good point. Please don't do any fireworks this weekend. It's just not worth it with how dry we are across Colorado. And Patricia is in Rye and says the wind blew all night where she is. And Deanne is kind of echoing sentiments. It says, I hope people are paying attention. No fireworks, please. And Jeremy says, wow, there are a lot more fires than I realized there was. Yeah, some of those are very, very small, Jeremy, but it is active over the western United States. And Julie says, very, very sad. The situation that happened on the Colorado and Utah border over the weekend. And I agree with you, Julie. Obviously, anytime there's loss of life, and 2 firefighters were taken to the hospital, so 5 were involved in that incident, and very sad situation. It was good to talk to Isaac and get some of his expertise. All right, I'm going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk about our extended forecast, and I'll let you know how things kind of change up here as we head toward the holiday. You are on Peaks to Plains Weather, our weather together. This is Mornings with Meister.
Grow something beautiful this season. Hydrix Colorado Tree Farm Nursery has trees, shrubs, and perennials that are grown for our harsh climate. Plant smarter with expert guidance and quality plants. Visit coloradotreefarmnursery.com.
This is John May, General Manager of Petrale Roofing, up on another customer's roof doing a free 21-point inspection. If you'd like us to take a look at your roof, give us a call today, 719-375-8773. We'd be happy to take a look and see the condition of your roof. Petrale Roofing, we're a diamond certified TAMCO installer, which means we can offer a industry-leading 25-year workmanship warranty to give you peace of mind in the storm. Call Petrale Roofing, 719-375-8773. Schedule your free inspection today.
At Phil Long Ford Motor City, we've been around for 80 years. That's like 560 in dog years.
To say thank you to our loyal customers, it's employee pricing for all. You pay what we pay. Our way of celebrating Colorado's 150th anniversary and America's 250th birthday.
American value for American values. You pay what we pay. Right, boys?
That's right. Only at the original Phil Long Ford store.
Grow something beautiful this season. Hydrix Colorado Tree Farm Nursery has trees, shrubs, and perennials that are grown for our harsh climate. Plant smarter with expert guidance and quality plants. Visit coloradotreefarmnursery.com.
Alrighty, well, here's what you need to know about the extended forecast is that as we move into the rest of the week here, oh, looks like my camera went off. I'm frying my battery because it's been so hot in here. All right, let's talk about the next couple of days. You see, we've still got southwest flow tomorrow as we start off the morning here. We've got this trough off to the northwest, like I talked about, this high off to the east. And we don't change things up here really through the middle part of the week. One difference that we do start to get is that the jet, as we head into Wednesday, is kind of heading off to the northeast. And so we will start to see the strongest wind speeds pull back a little bit, but it remains hot. We still have this trough to the west, so we're still dealing with the southwest flow, and we don't expect a ton of moisture here over the next couple of days. That is for sure. But then as we start to move toward the weekend, there's a little bit of a difference in the forecast here. And we start to see this high shifting westward a little bit. Now, it's a process. So Thursday, we're still dealing with southwest flow overhead, but notice there's no strong jet. So that's good news. And then we head toward the weekend, and you can see the high kind of shifting westward here with the last bit of this trough up to the north on Friday. This high gets off to the south. That will open the door for some moisture to start to come into Colorado from the south. And I think by the time we hit Sunday afternoon, we're maybe talking about the chance of a couple of thunderstorms, and then maybe that opens the door for the monsoon to really kind of get going here. So for the first few days of the week, we're still really warm. We get hotter here as we head toward Thursday and Friday. We do cool back a little bit tomorrow. It's with a really weak front, but crew will take it because we want the temperatures to come down some. Any help with humidity that we can get at all, we will take it. But you can see here as we head toward the back part of the weekend with the increase in moisture and more clouds around, we start to see the temperatures come down. So that's good news here as we head toward Sunday. Now it's a little bit of a double-edged sword with the, some rain with thunderstorms, but you get lightning. That's not good news, right? All right, as we head past that into next week, maybe there's an additional chance of some storms. So we'll kind of keep our eye on that here. I think we're back around 100 for the rest of the week after we come down in Pueblo a little bit tomorrow. So over the far eastern plains, we're in the low to mid 100s. Temperatures come down a little bit past the 4th. Of course, on Saturday, and then we're 91 on Sunday. So even if you're in a spot that doesn't get some thunderstorms here, with that subtle increase in moisture, the temperatures will come down a little bit. I just can't stress enough. Over the next, today and tomorrow in particular, are going to continue to be difficult firefighting days. So it's a good idea to think about what you would do if there was a fire in your area. Get some things together just to be safe. It doesn't hurt to be prepared. You should always be prepared. If you were told to go at a moment's notice, what would you take? What would you grab if you had 5 minutes? There are important papers. Maybe get some of that stuff into the digital world so you don't have to worry about that. Of course, lots of people would grab pictures and that sort of thing that aren't digital. you know, from maybe previous generations and all of that kind of stuff. But it's just something to think of, and I think something to be smart today. Isaac is back, and he says, stay vigilant and be ready. Just, you know, be prepared in case the worst happens. Julie says, prayers for the people in and around those fires, praying for all of the first responders. Jim says, thank you to all of our firefighters. And I agree with that as well. That is a good kind of comment to leave with today. Crew, it is about 7 o'clock. I hope you have a fantastic day. We will be here monitoring things. We'll be doing updates as people are told to go, as we start to get the wind increasing over more areas here as we head through the rest of the day. So, you know, it's going to be a rough one out there today, not just in Colorado, but in neighboring states as well. So be safe, my friends. We'll keep an eye on things. You're on Peaks to Plains Weather, our weather together.
We don't know what the weather is going to be like around here. I do get really anxious during storms.
That's why they chose HailGuard. When performance leads, confidence follows. Backed by the first and only asphalt shingle system with a hail warranty.
That just gives us more peace of mind.
This is the only asphalt product on the market that has the manufacturer warranty targeting the hail damage, and it gives me a lot of confidence as a contractor.
Engineered for enhanced impact performance. Built to protect homes and reputations. HailGuard shingles. Built for hail.